Hi, my name is Jason, and I'm a quality manager for Seegers Aero Corporation. As the quality manager, it's my responsibility to make sure that the aircraft parts that we're repairing here at Seegers, that we ship them out and they are going to be safe and ready for operation. That we do all of the operations that we're required to do to be able to return that part to service, to go back on a plane, that we're doing all of those correctly. I also manage the inspectors. It's not just me making sure that all of the people on the floor are doing everything the way that they should. I have a staff of about 20 guys that inspect the parts to see what's wrong with them and make sure that everybody out there is then repairing them the way that they need to be repaired. I perform audits internally and externally, so I'll go and audit our suppliers who are doing work for us, and I also audit internally ourselves to make sure that we're doing the things that we're supposed to. In addition to that, we have the FAA that comes in and audits us, and also other customers, our customers that we're repairing parts for routinely. They'll come in and audit us, make sure we're doing everything that the way that we need to for them. If we have a technical issue on the floor, some sort of quality problem, they'll come and find me. I'll go out, try to see what caused it, if there's anything that we can do to resolve it, and make sure that once we've decided a course of action, that we actually do it the way that we've decided and that it's done correctly. If we have a new part or a particular problem with a part that we haven't seen before, I'll work with engineering to develop a new repair. In addition to my internal responsibilities, also will consult with sister organizations or customers, even overseas. I'll travel overseas, audit other facilities. I've been to Thailand. I'll be going to the UK here very soon. So to be a quality manager, in the aerospace specifically, you're going to start out as an A&P mechanic, as a technician level. I myself, I'm an A&P mechanic, and that's a FAA airframe and power plant, what that means. It's a license that the FAA actually provides an individual to be able to work on aircraft commercially in the U.S. I went to a school locally. There are numerous private schools, and probably the best, which is actually the case for me, I actually went to a community college locally and got my certificate that way. Once you start, you probably will start as a mechanic. It may take a few years, but if you apply yourself, you show that you have the ability, you'll quickly move up, and you'll find that in almost any organization, I think. And if you express the interest, you can become an inspector, which they're the guys that that work for me in the quality control side. And as an inspector, you'll develop the skills, the knowledge. You'll get any other further training if you want to move into a higher quality role. You can get that with the organization that you would work for. And eventually, over a period of time, if you continue to work hard and show that you're capable, you can become a quality manager also. The worst part of my job, and I think most quality managers would agree in aviation or any industry, it's going to be what we call quality escapes. When I say quality escapes, we have to develop an entire system to make sure that everything that the organization is doing is correct. We do everything that we're supposed to for the customers, that the FAA requires us to. And even then, even if you do that, there's still instances where there may be a particular problem with a part that was missed, or there was some mistake that was made for whatever reason. And when that actually makes it out of the facility and you've certified it and said it's okay to go, and that gets to the customer, that's what we call a quality escape, because it's escaped the quality control system of our company. And this is probably the worst nightmare for any quality manager. It's part of the job. Everybody has warranties. You target 0 defects always at any company, but they're just a fact of life. The big thing there is just making sure that when you do have an issue, that you respond to the customer, that you're get them the information that they need, and that you actually figure out how that happened, and you make sure that it doesn't ever happen again. The best part, there's probably really a few. I really enjoy my job. I like what I do. One of the big parts of that is the amount of variety that I have. It's rare that I have any 2 days that are identical. I do a lot of the same things sort of from time to time. I mean, I'm always doing the same things, always have the same responsibilities. There's always something new that crops up too. And I never know when I show up from day to day what new thing I'm going to be able to get into that day. And that keeps it fresh for me. It keeps me from getting bored with what I do. It's one of the reasons. Another one for me is it's actually sort of related to the worst part. When you have a problem that may result in a quality escape, it's extremely gratifying. It makes you feel very good to be able to actually go out, look at a process, see what happened with that particular part, and then make a change, define what really happened, the true root cause, and make a change to make sure that never happens again. And then once you create a process, whether it's a new process or one that you've changed because of some issue, and you see that working, and you go out and you see guys using it, and you see that it's actually doing what it's supposed to, as you intended it to, that's a really good part of it for me, and that gives me a good feeling. The first big step is really getting your A&P, and I can't overstate how important that is to the job. If there are other ways, there are military guys that will be able to get a job in aviation with that past experience. But for the level of technical detail that you need to do what I do, you really need the A&P. If you think you may be interested in it, but you're not quite sure, I would encourage people to look in their area for a high school or some sort of dual enrollment program with a community college where you can take some courses that will actually apply toward your A&P license. And in some cases, depending on where you live, you can actually graduate from high school with one of your licenses already. And then you're only talking another maybe 8 to 9 months, and you're able to go and get a job. And that's almost unheard of. There are very few things where you can get a very good job with high mobility that's really enjoyable for the people that are geared toward it, and within a year of graduating high school. I guess on a more general note, for anybody, just with any task that you take up, perform that task to the best of your ability, and don't let anyone else's standards or expectations actually change your own level of what you would expect, or your quality level that you would put into your work. For me, I love my job, and part of that is the pride that I get from doing it well. It's important to take pride in your work. And really the only way that you get that pride is by knowing that you've done it to the very best of your ability. If you look at something that you've done and all you can think of is, I could have done it better, you're not going to have that gratifying feeling that a mechanic gets when he sees something that he's done. And just if you keep your head down, you don't worry about what anyone else is doing, what anyone else thinks they deserve or thinks of themselves or you, and just continue to work to the best of your ability, good things will happen for you. And that's true in any field.